Hey guys, IntoTheEnd here, back for another video. Today I'm going to make a video on the Shadow Eclipse event. I haven't done any yet because because I screwed up yesterday when I looked at this. I thought it meant entry opens in 4 days, but it turns out it closes in 4 days. So that makes a lot of sense because it was the eclipse yesterday, and it would make perfect sense for the event to start yesterday. But somehow I missed it, so I haven't done any of it yet, and I'm gonna go into the event with this deck here, which is a modified version of the Life Force deck that I have made a deck tech and some video on before. I think this deck is pretty good for the event. So my personal thought on the event is that if you're drawing an extra card per turn, I think the most important thing is tempo. It's not very good to draw 2 cards per turn if you're still gonna be playing only 1 card per turn. And because of that, I think the event is more favored towards aggressive decks with a lot of early game plays. So I kind of expect the meta to be full of Stone Scar aggro, like maybe Burn Queen, maybe Argenport aggro. Some kind of aggro deck anyway, because those are the decks that is going to run a lot of very aggressive turn 1 and 2 plays, and when you draw 2 cards a turn, you can overwhelm your opponent very quickly if they're playing a slower, more controlling mid-range deck where they're only playing 1 card per turn. So I think tempo is the name of the game. So this deck has a lot of 1 and 2 drops, so I think, and also a lot of incidental life gain as well to keep me alive into my mid game kicks in. So I think this game is well positioned. This deck is well positioned. I also think that decks that have something really big going on is favored, especially decks that require specific interactions that has an enabler and a payoff. I think that when you're drawing 2 cards per turn, you're a lot more likely to be able to draw into the right combination of cards that you need for it to work. And I think decks that can survive early game with a lot of good 1-2 drops to block with, and then have a very big game plan in the mid to late game that goes over top of your opponent is favored. And because of that, I think control decks are less likely to be favored. Of course, I don't really know because I haven't done any of the event yet, but so I'm maybe a little bit less worried about harsh rules, and a little bit more worried about Torch and Oni Ronins and Pyro Knights. So this is my deck. I think I've done a deck tech on something very similar. The only difference is I had to skew the deck a little bit to include more shadow cards to fit the event. And I also removed some of the mana fixing cards because I feel that when you're drawing 2 cards per turn, you should be able to draw into the lands that you need. So this is it. Let's jump into an event and see if we can do well with this deck. Game number 1. Sorry, I'm just gonna go and turn down the music a little bit. Okay, let's play our first game. I hope the mic is on. Last time I spent 45 minutes making a video, realizing that I was talking to myself, and I don't think I end up uploading the video either. Okay, draw an extra card. Alright. Everybody's got this sweet avatar these days. This hand is perfectly playable. I have a turn 1 interaction card, turn 2 interaction card, and then 2 decent turn 4s. I do need another time sigil to draw something. To be able to play all my cards in the deck, but this is looking pretty good. Turn 1, 2, 3, and 4 plays. So my opponent is playing a time-based deck as well. I think I'm going to play the Oasis Seeker here to be more mana efficient. Next turn when I attack with it, I can play the Cult Aspirant before pre-combat, so I think that's going to be perfectly fine. I do need to draw another land though. So my opponent's got the same idea as I do, but he's playing slightly different cards. I really need to draw a land though, holy cow. He's gonna be able to block for free, but I get to grow my Cult Aspirant. however that word is pronounced. I do need to draw a land by next turn, though, pretty badly. Oh, my opponent's gonna have no shortage of power. Come on, land! Preferably a time. Ah, well, better than nothing. So, I have 4 mana, I can play 2 removal spells and attack for a lot of damage. Or I can simply remove this and let him block 1 unit, and then I can play the Abdicator, the Abductor, end of turn. Or I can simply play Steward of the Past and end this kind of shenanigans right here. I think I'm gonna play Steward because it developed my board the best. And having the Steward in play is also pretty good if he does play a what do you call it? Dawnwalker next turn, which he could very well be playing in this deck. So he's gonna try and kill the Steward because he wants these shenanigans here. That's fine. Oh, it looks like he's also got a Life Force deck, but his Life Force deck is a little bit different. He uses slightly different combos in his deck. But I'm off to a very good start. Yes, there's another time that I need. This is perfect. Now, I'm not going to play Steward because I just want to attack him. So I'm going to play this Piercing Greave no matter what. The only question is, what other 2 spells or 1 spell would I be playing? The answer is probably just a removal spell. I want to get rid of this life gain unit. And this Echoing unit doesn't do anything at the moment, so I'm not too worried about it. But I am just going to kill them both. I actually don't. Yeah, and I'm just going to kill them both. And attack him for a ton of damage. This thing's a 6/6 already, wow. That thing grew pretty fast. With 2 Oasis Seekers growing it, this is going to be a 9/9 next turn. Wow. So, pretty lucky I drew the lands that I needed. That's okay. I still have some good plays in my hand. He's down to 4. If I draw the Piercing Greave, I think I kill him. Oh, maybe not, now that he has all these blockers. My opponent's got the right idea as well. He has a lot of very low curve units, which I think is the right thing to do. I have so many options here. My hand is so good. I think I'm gonna favor first. I understand the favor works really well with Keitra, but I just want the land at this point, and I just want to get one of the blockers out of the way, so let's just do that. Because I'm still going to be able to trigger Keitra quite a bit with these 2 units. My draw has been better than my opponent's, I think. He's been in the back foot the whole game. Although he is playing a lot of cards that doesn't do anything on their own, like the Voice Speaker and the... what is this? The... Ephemeral Wisp, I guess? I don't even know what that first word means. I thought it was called Ethereal Wisp, but apparently not. So my opponent's in a lot of trouble. He needs a board sweeper, which he doesn't have in these colors. I think there's no way he can survive next turn because I have removal spells in my hand. Yeah, my opponent's got the right idea with the low curve, but too many of his cards don't do anything on their own, so it applies no pressure. And of course I drew the perfect hand here, so my draw is maybe a little bit above average, and my opponent's draw is perhaps a little bit below average. He's drawing a lot of cards though. He may have drawn into an answer at this point. Okay, so I have 4 attackers, he has 4 blockers, but I have many removal spells, which is more than enough to finish this game off, I believe. Oh, actually, no it's not. Because... oh no, it is. When they attack, Keitra will grow the Grief to 5/3. That's why he dies. Okay. That worked out really well. My opponent has the same idea as I do, though, so I think my idea is certainly not unique, and certainly not revolutionary. But I guess we'll see who can execute that plan the best. This hand's very good. Because I'm drawing 2 cards per turn, I'm pretty sure I will draw into business. So this is a very, very good hand. Chances are that I draw like, 6 or 7 consecutive lands is pretty low. I'm gonna start with. I'm not gonna play the Amber Monument. I have a feeling I'm going to have enough lands to play this later on. I'm going to start with the Cult Aspirant, or Aspirant, or Aspirant. I need to go figure out how to pronounce this card. Okay, take my 2. Feln Aggressive Temple deck. This is a good deck choice, I think. The Temple deck is very good. But my hand is remarkably good. Oh man. This hand is amazing. My opponent's gonna have to have some very good cards to get out this one, I think. Sure. That's too bad. But still just a 1-for-1 trade. Not a really big deal. I'm actually trading 1 mana for his 2 mana, or 1 power for his 2 power. And my opponent didn't do anything on turn 2. That thing's problematic. Especially if he has the Haunting Screen next turn. Now what do I do? So, I'm not going to favor this, because with this Haunting Screen, I have no way to block it. But I have also no way to play 2 cards this turn, which is a huge drag. So basically, if I play Blocker, I get screwed by a removal spell. But if I play Favor, I get screwed by Haunting Scream. The question is, does he have more removal spell in his deck, or does he have more Haunting Screens in his deck? I think the answer is probably more removal spells. So maybe I just go ahead and burn this now. I mean, just playing the odds there. I think there's a slightly higher chance that he has a removal spell, so... I mean, the other play is I can play the Temple Scribe and hope to draw into a 1-drop, but that's kind of shaky. Oh, he does have the Haunting Screen. It's also possible that my opponent has both removal spells and Haunting Screen, because he has, 5 cards in hand. This is going to be very tough to beat. I need to be a little bit faster. Okay, but that's actually not too bad. So, I think playing Keitra is got the highest upside, but also most open to removal spell. But if I play 2 units, neither of them can block, which is the problem. And I would really like to play the Temple Scribe after I play the Keitra. So I think that leaves me with the option of playing the Oasis Seeker plus Suffocate, or I can play the Steward of the Past on its own, just to block the Ranger and take the 10. I actually think I want to I would like to develop my board as much as possible. So I'm going to remove this and play the Oasis Seeker. I mean, I have to attack here. I'm just basically gaining 3 life. And then I'll play the Oasis Seeker. I know the Oasis Seeker won't block any of these things, but had I played the Steward, I'm also not going to block either of these beasts anyway, so I'm taking that 10 no matter what. But this way, I got rid of the Ranger, whereas if I play the Steward and he kills the Steward, then the Ranger attacks for 2 more and becomes a 4/4. That's even worse for me, I think. So I'm hoping my life gain is going to sustain this a little bit and buy me some time until I can handle these 5/5s. The scary thing is my opponent still has 6 cards in his hand, and yeah, it's going to be very difficult to catch up. Oh, this is... Hey, this is not bad. Can I... How many cards can I play this turn? Let's start with the land, because I'm going to play this land no matter what. So I can play any combination of... I can play both the Cult Aspirants and the Temple Scribe, but then I have no way to gain life next turn. Alternatively, I can just play Keitra and Cult Aspirant, attack with this, make it a 4/3. Yeah, you know what? I think... Oh, I might die next turn on the attack. See, attacks for 14 right now unless I block. And I don't really have a block. I can chump block with the Cultist. You know what? I think that's my best bet, so let's just do it this way. This will gain me a life. This will make this a 3/3. That's not relevant. I mean, it'll just chump block one of the 5/5s. I'm going to take 11, go to 3. Unless he removes both my units and I die. It's possible. That deck is a temple deck. A lot of efficient cheap removal spells. Very likely that I die here. Which is too bad. My hand was pretty good. Oh, I don't die, but he gets another... But he gets another 2 5/5s? Oh boy. I'm not sure there's a card in my deck that allows me to come back from this. Oh no, never mind. I'm straight up dead because he has the pump. That deck is a very good deck choice for this event, by the way. It is a tempo-based deck, and I think tempo-based decks is the way to go. Also very good at getting around blockers. Well, I think I needed to draw a couple more removal spells that game. But the Beast Collar with Haunting Scream, backed up with Haunting Scream and removal, is pretty hard to beat. So I just have to hope that I draw into more lands. This hand is not great. I have no turn 1 play. I have a mediocre turn 2 play. Let's just redraw. I think I can do better. Yeah, this hand's much better. Okay, another aggressive list, I assume. This time Argent Port aggro. Oh, with Revenge. Okay, so I think it's better to have the Oasis Seeker here. It does more damage. I can attack with it next turn for 3. The Prison Grief has haste anyway, so I can play this turn 3 or 4 or 5 even, it doesn't really matter. I guess I'm taking 5 here, because I certainly don't want to trade my Oasis Seeker for that. Because any given time I can just block it with a Tempo Scribe, so there's no reason to trade a good unit for that there. Okay, he doesn't have another play, which is great. So here, I'm attacking him no matter what. I guess the question is, what do I play other than that? I think I'm just going to continue to develop my board with more 3/2s, but I don't have any good cards. Maybe the Tempo Scribe can draw me into a Keitra or something better. I don't want to waste my turn removing this though. Yeah, so let's just attack him for 3. I think it's a little bit better to play the Oasis Seeker over the Piercing Grief because this stays in play, and this allows me to develop my board a little bit. I'm still not too worried about this thing. There you go, he's just sacked himself, so and I can kill this with a Annihilate, so I'm not worried. There you go, that's exactly what I'm looking for. As soon as I pick Keitra, both of these attacks becomes 5/4. I'm actually pretty happy trading one of them. And I think he's happy to trade as well, because he can't just let me gain +2/+2 every turn, right? So little that he know, I have plenty of gas to pump with. So I think Keitra's gonna get killed here with by a Slay. That's not that important. I don't really care about his 3 life. Yep, Vanquish. Removal spell as expected. What I'm hoping though is he doesn't have a second play. That's not a concern. Oh, that's a good card. All 4 copies of the Oasis Seeker have been drawn by me. I'm gonna start with the Tempo Scribe. I'm hoping to draw into something better. And I did not. So let's just attack him for 5. Yeah, he's happy to trade because he has Revenge, but he doesn't come back for 1 to 10 turns, so I think it's easy to feel like throwing away your Revenge units are fine, but I think it's only true in some situations. That's fine. I'll gladly take 4 damage. Oh, 6 damage. Maybe now I chump. Yeah, now I'll chump it. If I had another Keitra in my hand, I'll may consider keeping it around to pump, but not too worried. So many cards in my hand, what do I do? Let's just run out as many cards as I possibly can. I don't really want to trade my Oasis Seeker for his 2/2. I mean, I'm using the removal spell because I have so many. And I'd rather be efficient with my mana than to worry about saving removal spells. Because next turn I play a Slug. I hope he plays a Flyer like Makdos. That would be great. Neither unit can attack, so this is a wasted pump. Please play Makdos, that would be great. Oh jeez. I wonder if the Steward prevents this from happening. I don't think it does because the effect is off of a Grinva and not off of the dead unit. Yeah, so I don't think it works. Well, now I can't attack. This thing is absolutely gigantic. So I could play the Cult Aspirant and then kill it and then attack with everything. Is that better? Or I can play yeah, I think this is a big enough threat that I'm just gonna kill it and attack with everything. He's gonna kill one of my Oasis Seekers, which I think is fine. I don't have any other way to benefit from it. Other than this, yeah, no, that's fine. I'll trade one of them to clear some things off his board. What I'm kind of worried about though is my opponent having Harsh Rule. This looks like a kind of deck that would run it, because when you have a whole bunch of units in play and Grinva and you Harsh Rule, you can sometimes kill your opponent. Yeah, so he's chosen not to block with the tick. What? Sure, I guess. I think he's dead now, right? I have 3 attackers. Yeah, he's dead. He saw the pause, and he knew that I had the removal spell. Okay, this video is getting a little long. I'm gonna end the video here and put the next game into a separate video.